What were some of the keys for the way once they cut that 20-point lead in half of the second half, y'all stopped that run, went on to win by 13. What were some keys in that situation?
Well, I think a more appropriate question is how did we get the 20-point lead?
Okay. How did you get the 20-point lead?
I mean, glass either half empty or half full. When you went on the road, I would think that the fullness of the glass is important. I thought we came out the start the second half with a really good mindset. I keep going back to that UCF game. And that's I've kind of lit them up about the way we started the second half of that game. And we carried that over to SMU, and then we carried over again today. We came out with a purpose. We knew exactly how we wanted to guard their actions. We knew the shots we were looking for on offense, and we just stayed connected. Anytime you go on the road, the other team is going to make a run. So after we got up 20. They had a couple of threes, and then I know we got let go of the rope a little bit. We let go of the rope a little bit on our coverage calls where we weren't taking the roller. Because Davenport and DeJulius and Nolly, those kids are such good three-point shooters, we were favoring the shooter instead of the roller, instead of trusting the system. So I think I called timeout there. They might have cut it to 10, from 20 to 10 once we called timeout and kind of got reconnected on how we're going to play our pick and roll defense. We got 2 or 3 stops in a row, and then we got the lead right back up to 16 or 17.
Kevin, how big is it to go on the road, like you said, and get a win like this in a tough environment?
Yeah, you can't win the conference. Whoever wins the conference every year is usually a good road team, and we've been a good road team for a long time. But every team is different. Last year we came in here with an older veteran team, and 4 of those starters are gone now. So now we got a completely different lineup outside of Jamal. So every team, you just have to bring them along because they're all different. Our DNA remains the same, but the faces change. But as long as they understand what the DNA is, and that's why we practice the way we do. That's why our accountability is what it is. We play Cougar basketball, and every team has to learn how to do that. And as the season goes on, guys get better and better. Jairus is getting better. I thought Terrence Arsenault came off the bench tonight, even though he didn't play a ton of minutes. He played almost 14 minutes tonight, whereas when we won at Virginia, he played good at Oregon, didn't even play against Virginia, didn't play good today. He's a freshman. Terrence Emmanuel's a freshman. Jairus a freshman. So our freshmen have to keep coming. Jamal, Marcus, Tremont, Jaywan, Reggie. I kind of know what I'm going to get out of those guys on the road, but those young guys are going through this for the first time. So, but they're not by themselves. I mean, they're playing with these older guys. That's why it's not always easy. I mean, it's hard to win on the road at any league. It's hard to win at home. I mean, look at the top 25 teams that lost this week, whether it be home or on the road. That's why I never take it for granted.
Hey, we'll go to Andy Yanez from Gallery Sports. Go ahead, Andy, with your question for Coach Sampson.
Good afternoon, Coach. Just in terms of something you said earlier in the season, I believe it was in regards to younger players. You said sometimes it could be like a game of tic-tac-toe where you're trying to get younger players to streak a couple of X's in a row. Do you feel like you're in that point with Jarvis Walker, or is it still too early to say just from a consistency standpoint? Obviously, we're showing the game, but for you, when you get to watch
I never get carried away with anything they do good or bad. We're going to practice tomorrow. There's no coronation around here if you have a good game. Now, that's the first time he's had 2 consecutive good games, but the key is put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, we've had a lot of guys that's done what he's done, played 2 really good games, but that's the first time Jarris has done it, and I'm proud of it. You know, he had a temperature before the game. I asked him, could he play? He said he's going to try. I said, well, if you're at 80%, then I want 100% of your 80%. If you're at 75, then I want 100% of your 75. You know, his rebounding was down today. I didn't think his energy level was great on defense like it was maybe Thursday or whenever we played SMU. But he's getting more confidence in the offense, and our players are getting confidence in him. So, but it's just, you know, as always, it's just a good team win.
We'll go to Chris Gardner from the Houston Round Ball Review. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, just what are your thoughts on how Marcus closed the game offensively and defensively with the steals?
But I like closing the game, you know, with my best free throw shooters, ball in their hands. You know, Cincinnati was still playing hard. They're still trapping, doing some things. But I thought if we got the ball reversed, we could hurt them down the middle. You know, as long as we kept the ball off the sidelines, we're going to have a chance. You never know. But, you know, Marcus's confidence is that's why Marcus may take a shot that I question sometime, but I never question him because I have such great trust in him, as I have so many of our guys that's played that position, whether it was Rob Gray or Damian Dotson, Armani Brooks, Quentin, Corey Davis. We've had a lot of guys that were really good at what he's doing. But you know, Marcus knows I think when the coach has confidence in you and he doesn't overreact to a missed shot, and I was like that with Marcus when he was a freshman. So now that he's a senior, and Marcus is still getting there. You know, I think this team is still growing. And I don't mean that to say, well, how much better can you get? I just think we can get better. I have no idea. Maybe a little bit better. Maybe a smidge. Maybe a nudge. Maybe a little bit more than a little bit. I have no idea. But the goal is to find out, how do you continue to get better? That's the focus. That's the little things. You know, we go to watch film tomorrow. You know, I'll call out certain guys for playing good or doing things the right way. But we'll find plenty of things that I thought we dropped the ball on or let go of the rope on too. I mean, we're still evolving as a team. I know Terrence was his numbers don't look great, but his minutes were good tonight. And all these minutes for these guys now is going to pay dividends for us, I think, later in the season.
We'll go to Dayon Dunlap, please. Dan, go ahead with your question for Coach.
Hey, Coach Sampson, you referenced competitive individual matchups from David Davis to Fabian to recently with Malik and Terrence. How do you feel those competitive practices prepare the team?
Dan, say it louder. I got some noise in the background. I can't hear you.
Now, I was saying you referenced competitive individual matchups at practice in the past from Fabian to Devin and recently with Malik and Terrence. How do you feel those competitive practices prepare your players and team to compete at a high level? How it translates?
Yeah, I think it's you know, Kellen always coaches the white team. I coach the red team. Kellen's competitive. You know, he's and a lot of times we keep score. You know, there's always a winner and a loser in our practices, regardless of anything we do. 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 5-on-5. Somebody wins, somebody loses, because we teach competition. If we do a layup drill, there's a goal and a time element. If we do shooting drills, there's always an accountability element in everything we do. But a lot of days, you know, Malik Wilson, Emmanuel, Terrence, Reggie, JBA. That's a pretty tough white team that the red team has to go against. And if red team don't bring it, they're gonna get tattooed. And if they get tattooed, they know what's up. So all of our matchups, one of the things I've been doing in practice is having Jarris play one-on-one against Reggie. Reggie's got a nastiness to him that will bring out the best in JVA. Because if it won't, then if he's soft, you're gonna find out. The same thing with Malik and Terrence. Developing players, sometimes you got to think outside the box. It's not always the way this guy does it or this guy does it. It's the way we do it. We have a way that we do things here, and our players trust us. We recruit the kids that we want to coach, and then we go forward with that.
Got time for one or two more questions. We'll go back to Chris Gardner. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, can you give us an update on Ramon Walker?
I don't know. I was texting him today. I'm sure he'll be at practice tomorrow.